call this meeting to order. It's Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. This is the Iroquois County Board. Will the clerk call a roll, please?
Alt.
Here.
Behrens.
Here.
Dent.
Here.
Bowers.
Here.
Crow.
Yes.
Ducat.
Here.
Geiger.
Present.
Hughes. McGinnis.
Here.
McTaggart.
Here.
Awful.
Here.
Sure.
Yep.
Watts.
Here.
Whitlow.
Here.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Present.
Okay, Mrs. Awful.
Yes, good morning. Today we have Pastor Hughes from, Joe Hughes from Centennial Christian Church here in Watsika to start some prayer.
Let's pray together. Father, thank you for this day you've given us. I thank you for answering the prayers we have, and I'm sure the farmers are thanking you for the rain that has come and how you always supply the things that we need. I just pray that we would continue to look to you for the wisdom we need to make some difficult decisions at times that would be best for your will to be done and all for the people of Iroquois County. To this end we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone has a copy of the agenda in front of them. Do we have a motion to approve that? Williams, second by Mr. Hughes. Are there any questions or comments regarding the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Everyone has been sent a copy of the minutes from our meeting on June 13th. We have a motion to approve those minutes. Mr. Williams, seconded by Mr. Zumwalt. Are there any questions or comments regarding those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Payroll. Have a motion to approve the payroll. This is awful. Second by Mr. Williams. Any questions or comments regarding payroll? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Behrens.
Yes.
Dent.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Ducat.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Public comments. We're privileged this morning to have with us State Senator Bennett. He's here to address the board, Mr. Bennett.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everybody. I have a few business cards I'll leave here with John. So if you don't have my latest card, there's some there, and we're glad to be with you today. I'm your state senator as of January of this past year. Jason stepped down for all kinds of reasons and family and those things, so it was time. And I had about an hour notice, and we looked around and said, okay. There really was no one else with experience in the General Assembly. I had 8 years in there, so we jumped in, and with both feet, and we're swimming and working hard for you. And it's an interesting time, a challenging time. We are out of session right now. We don't go back till October. I think the last week of October, the first and the second week of November. 500 and some ballots and bills went to the governor, and he's going through that process right now. What's happening, but I just really want to stop in for a moment, say hello, say good morning. A lot of familiar smiles and faces, and I haven't been here for a little bit, so I wanted to come by and say hello. And also, what I want to do is to tell you thank you. I mean that. The things you're doing here on the county board and in the community that you represent here are very important, and it's not easy. But we're working through these things, and I appreciate all of our conversations, whether they're by phone or by email or sitting on the float, if I may, just having different conversations. It's all about people, and you know that. And I really appreciate all that you're doing. So those are just a couple things I want to say. Good morning to you. Glad you're here, and we need you. So again, appreciate the conversations, and then you have another full meeting today with a number of things and issues, and glad to be with you. I'm gonna have to sneak out here in a little bit, but We have a couple meetings here in town and nearby, but if you wanted to come by first and say good morning, and glad to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Do you have any other public comments this morning?
I was asked to give a brief report on the Veterans Assistance Commission. Of course, I'm Jennifer Ingram, I'm the superintendent. So just a quick update of what we brought in for fiscal year 2023. I have met the amount of claims that I have submitted for last year already for this year. And there's still 4 years left in the fiscal, or 4 months left in the fiscal year. So we're at 260 claims that I've submitted to the Department of Veterans Affairs, and that's just me doing that. And I'll give you a little bit of our financial report. Right now, we've done more money brought in to the county than I did last year. So we're at 1.2 million, just over 1.2 million. And for retroactive pay and the yearly amount, we're right at the cusp of bringing in $2 million this year. And the fiscal year is not even over. So we're at $1.7 million. That's pretty doggone good as far as I'm concerned. When I started here 10 years ago, we had 150 veterans in our database. Right now we've got 1,350. I keep at least 15 to 20 appointments every week with veterans coming in. Now this week and next week, because it's Fair Week in Newton County and Fair Week here, we're not so busy, but that gives me an opportunity to go through people's medical records and make determinations as to whether or not we need to proceed or not. Like I said, we're doing really well. I just wanted to give you that sort of update. If anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those.
Thank you.
And I will add to that, I absolutely love my job. I don't have to worry about having to come to work and whether or not I don't dislike doing what I do. It's a privilege to me, and I hope to God that when it's my time, when I pass or when my husband passes, that there's somebody that's just as passionate about their job as I am about mine. Thank you.
Are there any other public comments this morning? Under Chairman comments, the only thing I wanted to bring to the attention of the board is middle of last week, Jeff Glenn, head of the Fire Chiefs Association in the county, advised us that the burn ban was lifted due to the recent rainfall. And they recommend that we still exercise great caution because still in the drought mode. In spite of all the rain we've had, and hopefully more rain coming in the next week or two, we're still quite a bit short. Those of you that are farmers on the board understand it's probably better than some of the rest of us. But it's something that we need to not let our guard down and keep being vigilant and so far as fires and that sort of thing. That's all that I have. We'll move on to outside organization reports. Angel?
Good morning, Chairman, members of the Iroquois County Board, and guests. I'm Angel Crawford, the Executive Director with Iroquois Economic Development Association, and here is the IDA News for July. I recently attended the Illinois Office of Broadband webinar announcing the launching of the Digital Equity Capacity Kickstarter, or DEC program. The DEC program provides an opportunity for community-based organizations, nonprofits, political subdivisions, public libraries, and public schools to apply up to $50,000 in a project-specific grant support to assist with, number one, Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP outreach and broadband adoption. Number two, digital skill building, online navigation and use. Number three, community technology centers. That's going to be a big one. And broadband access expansion feasibility studies. How can your organization help? Your organization can receive funding to help create awareness and assist with enrollment of low-cost broadband programs such as the ACP program. And how many here know about the ACP program? Do you know what that is? That is a program that can assist people with, I think it's up to $30 on their broadband or the Wi-Fi bill. And it's very important that people know that because it can make a difference, a big difference, especially with gas costs and everything else. And school, that's very important. So, you can also assist people who want to learn digital skills, device access, and understand their home broadband needs. You can also help provide advice, assistance, and tech support on the use of digital tools and platforms like email, word processing software, telehealth care, which is very important, remote learning, job applications, social media, and general web use. You can also help coach, train, and guide residents on how to use their home internet service and devices to meet their day-to-day needs and achieve their goals. I've talked to numerous people in Iroquois County that are needing all of these services. Funding is now available, and this program can help your local communities. If your organization can help with any of these areas, please contact our office today to get more information on how to apply for this funding. In closing, Iroquois Area Regional Delivery System, Community Foundation of Kankakee River Valley, and Iroquois Economic Development Association would like to remind you to attend the CEO Lunch and Learn Community Stakeholder Event to learn about CEO, or what's called Creating Entrepreneurial Opportunities Program. This is a program one of the programs that I've seen that's very successful in the school systems, help training children, students, to learn about employers and what they do. The CEO program can immerse your high school students in your local business community so that they see all the businesses and other opportunities that exist in their hometowns. It can also instill an entrepreneurial mindset in those students through the creation and operation of real businesses. These are not mere classroom exercises. They are real businesses with real products and or real services being exchanged for real money. Every CEO student leaves the class with their own operating business. It can also inspire your community's next generation of business and thought leaders, those students who are now invested in your community and see it as a great place to live, work, raise their families, and yes, operate their own business. The CEO Lunch and Learn will be next Thursday, so mark it on your calendar, July 20th at the Watseka Unit 9 District Office. Doors open at 11:30, lunch begins at 11:45, and the presentation starts at noon. And we look forward to seeing you there. So make sure and mark it on your calendar. It's going to be a really good program. I was super excited the first time I watched or saw the people talking about this program. Also, I wanted to remind everyone that a while ago we were talking about IARDS, which is the Iroquois Area Regional Delivery System. The director, Jeff Bryan, and also the college career coordinator, Samantha Forbes, and myself put together a survey for employers. And we haven't had a lot of success with that. So what I'm going to do is, if you don't mind, I'm going to make up these little cards. I'm going to put them in your mailbox. And if you could share those with just employers as we all go around. Obviously, I can't be everywhere all the time, and neither can Jeff, and neither can Samantha, but together it can help. And just take that card. I'm going to put a QR code on there and also the link to the survey. It's really important that the schools know what employers are needing, what they're looking for. So I really, all of us would appreciate your help in doing that. Are there any questions? For more information on these topics I've discussed, please call the Iroquois Economic Development Association office at 815-432-0072. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other outside organization reports this morning? Seeing none, we'll move on to the committee reports. Members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred policy and procedure would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on June 29, 2023 at 9 a.m. Members present were Scher, Duquette, Barons, Alt, Awful, and Whitlow. Michael McTaggart was absent. Also present, Finance Manager Joe Johnson, County Clerk Brian Suver, ICPHD Administrator Eric Sacy, ETS Director Eric Raymond, and Ashcombe Fire Chief Jeff Glenn. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Jed Whitlow and seconded by Barbara Awful to approve the agenda. That motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. ICPHD Administrator Eric Sacy reported he continues to work on the request for proposal for the Hazard Mitigation Plan grant. Sacy and County Board Chairman Scher have been interviewing candidates for Sacy's replacement. Sacy discussed the air quality issue over the past few days. There have been reports of individuals visiting urgent care and seeking medical attention due to the poor air quality. The county is also experiencing a drought. Lastly, Sacy reminded the committee of HyperReach, the county's mass notification system that is used to send out emergency alerts. This is a free service for the public to subscribe to. The committee began discussing enacting a burn ban in Iroquois County. County Board Chairman Scher stated a meeting with the fire chiefs was held last night and there was a vote to approve a burning ban. Due to the timing of the policy and procedure meeting, the 4th of July holiday cannot be addressed with an ordinance because final approval will not occur until July 11 at the full board meeting. Scher drafted a news release to be posted on the website immediately. Scher added State's Attorney Jim Devine and Sheriff Clint Perzee are both in support of the burn ban, but there is concern on how to enforce it. Ashcombe Fire Chief Jeff Glenn provided the committee with the open burning statute and the temporary burn ban news release that was issued. The fire department can, by law, impose fines for violation to this open fire ban. County Clerk Brian Suver stated firework permits are issued to entities that have the proper certification. This includes a pyrotechnic license or consumer fireworks license. They also must provide a $1 million insurance policy, complete their application, and provide a $1,000 bond. 2 firework permits have been issued in the county in the proper amount of time. These include Bales Lake in Lodit and Kellert Lake in Cissna Park. There is also a permit in process in Crescent City. It was moved by Duquette and seconded by Barons to approve the news release drafted by County Board Chairman Scher regarding the burn ban in Iroquois County. That motion carried by a voice vote. The committee also discussed enacting an ordinance that will mirror the ban on open burning. It was moved by Barons and seconded by Awful to move forward with developing an ordinance on open burning. That motion carried by a voice vote. It's moved by Duquette and seconded by Barons to enter into executive session at 9:37 a.m. under 5 ILCS 120/2C/1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body. A roll call vote was taken. That motion carried. It was moved by Barons and seconded by Awful to come out of executive session at 10:18 a.m. That motion carried by a voice vote. Committee chairs gave their monthly reports. Management Chairman Barons reported the committee will finalize the tiling project and receive their normal monthly reports. ARPA Committee Chairman Duquette reported the committee will continue to review applications. The Tax Planning and Zoning Committee will receive their monthly reports and discussion will be held on DevNet. A special Tax Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is scheduled for July 12 at 9:30 a.m. Health Chairman Awful reported the Health Committee will hear their standard reports. Judicial Chairman Whitlow reported the committee will hear their monthly reports. Finance Vice Chairman Behrens reported the Finance Committee is preparing for budget hearings later this month. Highway Chairman Alt reported the Highway Committee will review an operating agreement with County Engineer Greg Perkinson for equipment. Also said he would also like to entertain the idea of changing the highway meeting date from Friday to Thursday going forward. Alt commented on the lack of signage at the county highway building and would like to see a memorial for Joel Morse put up. Finance Manager Jill Johnson reported the completion rate for sexual harassment is at 91%. The remaining employees that need to complete the training schedule, part-time employees, contracted employees, and county board members. Notices will continue to be sent out with payroll informing employees of the required training. Over the next several months, the community will be reviewing the county code book. Sure noted the county code book was last approved in 2014. Sure began reviewing the preface and table of comments and asked the committee to read through the first 30 pages prior to the next policy and procedure meeting. Sure noted Brenda Burnett is being appointed to the Board of Health on July 11th. Correspondence was distributed to the committee. Committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Behrens and seconded by Awful to play the claims subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken. That motion carried. There was no old business. There was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Awful and seconded by Behrens to adjourn at 10:45 a.m. That motion carried by a voice vote. All of which is respectfully submitted, signed by all members present, and I move for the adoption of this report. Seconded by Mrs. Awful. Are there any questions or comments about the report? Mr. McTaggart.
How many people, Eric, are actually signed up for that hyper reach?
You know what's funny you should ask? Because I just happened to pull up the report from the hyperreach notification that I sent out, letting the whole county know that a burn ban was put in place, and it reached, in terms of just contacts, 6,576 contacts. That includes landlines, cell phones, and emails. Landlines, when the system was built, we put the landlines in, so people did not need to sign up for for all landlines to be put in. But people sign up for their cell phones or their emails to be put in. So that's the total number.
How many are landlines, or do you know those numbers?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
Is there any other questions or comments about the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Benz,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Crow,
No. No, you're voting no on the report, Donna, I just wanna make sure, okay. Ducat,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Zumwalt,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
and Behrens.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred policy and procedure would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on July 5, 2023 at 10 a.m. Members present were Sure, Ducat, Alt, Awful, and Whitlow. Lyle Behrens and Michael McTaggart were absent. Meeting was called to order. It was moved by Barb Awful and seconded by Paul Ducat to approve the agenda. That motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. It was moved by Awful and seconded by Whitlow to enter into executive session at 10:03 a.m. under 5 ILCS 120/2 C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body. A roll call vote was taken. That motion carried. It was moved by Alt and seconded by Awful to come out of executive session at 11:17 a.m. That motion carried by a voice vote. Discussion was held on hiring a supervisor of assessment. It was moved by Duquette and seconded by Alfo to reach a tentative agreement with the individual involved, subject to county board approval on July 11th. A roll call vote was taken, that motion carried. There was no old business, there was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Alfo and seconded by Duquette to adjourn at 10:23 a.m. That motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is specifically submitted, signed by all members present, and I move for the adoption of this report. Second by Mr. Williams. Do we have questions or comments? Mr. Watts?
What is the person's name for the hire of supervisor of assessment, and what are their qualifications?
Mrs. Crowe asked me this morning about entering into executive session to discuss that matter. Is that something that you would like to do?
Well, I think if the board's gonna vote on it, they should know a little bit more than just what's on this report.
My question is, would you like to enter into executive
Yes.
session to do that?
Yes, I would make that motion.
Okay,
second it.
you want to cite the,
I would move that we enter executive session to discuss the hiring of a supervisor of assessment.
okay. You need to repeat what the statute is that we're going under.
I move that we enter executive session to discuss hiring of supervisor of assessment under 5 ILCS 120/2/C1.
Okay, there's more to it.
Okay,
The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline.
okay. Move to go into executive session to discuss hiring supervisor of assessment under 5 ILCS 120/2/C1. The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body.
Okay, good, thank you. Do we have a second to that motion? Mrs. Crowe? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We will go into executive session.